Hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday night. It's a Q&A session. Probably talk a lot about the Action 2 and the Ronin 4D. We can talk about that too, Alaska VFX. But if this is your first time here, this is all about questions and answers. So a lot of times I can't keep up with the comments. I definitely can't keep up after I've already answered them. I almost will never see replies to something I already said. So that's what this live stream is for. You can ask questions. I'll do my best to give you the answers, or at least give you my opinion, and other people in the chat will do the same thing. This way we can have a whole sort of conversation back and forth without having to type so much. And me definitely missing, your replies or more questions. So good to have you all here. I'm glad you're here. It's good to be live streaming. I missed last week due to another engagement. And yeah, so I saw Moshi is here. Masharu, I don't know how to say that. Grumpy Vlogger, hey man. Man, some of you have some names. Connor, how's it going, brother? James Smith, can't wait for November 5th for the Mavic 3. Dude, me too. I'm excited. I'm a little scared to see what the price is going to be, but I'm very excited to see the Mavic 3. Connor, you did? Awesome. So, yeah, I will have a video coming comparing the Action 2 and the GoPro 10 ASAP. I've been editing it all day. So I did get to have some hands-on time with the Action 2 while Jevin was up here with me in Alaska. And yeah, it's impressive, man. DJI has really done some good stuff. I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect action camera yet, but we're getting closer. So the Action 2 is pretty sweet. I think it's gonna be a great FPV camera because the built-in stabilization is almost like real steady. It's amazing. So Drone Kings and Bretner, David Casada, hello. I know I probably missed a bunch of you, but welcome. Glad to have you all here. Hope you all are doing well. Hey, Mark H. I hope you're doing well, man. And Bretner. Oh, by the way, my cough is gone. In case those of you who are wondering, it's gone. It just took a little while, but it's gone. And I went and did some hiking. Definitely pushed myself physically, but it was good. And that video will be coming soon, and it's pretty awesome. I did basically a Sony 24-105 f4 lens. Like, can it be your all-in-one lens? You'll have to wait and find out. Dun dun dun. Peter McLennan, and nice to see you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That opening is like my, some of my favorite shots from 2020. Yeah. Alan, Harrison Family Vlogs, nice to see you all. Eric Swanson, hey, hope you're doing well. Fly Zone, good to see you. John Burnett, good to see you too. Moshi asks, which would I recommend for FPV, Action 2 or GoPro 8 with Real Steady? So GoPro 8 with Real Steady is going to give you the best results in general. Like but there's the whole post that's my go-to setup is a GoPro 8 with Real Steady. The Action 2 image quality is a little bit better, especially when it gets to lower light situations. It's still an action camera. It's not great. Watch my video. You'll see some great comparisons. But the stuff straight out of camera it's so close to being like Real Steady. It's really impressive. And I do have some and what I did is I took the Action 2 and the GoPro Hero 8, set them both on my FPV drone and ripped them through a little bit and then crashed. Promptly because I couldn't see something in the way the sun was. But no, GoPro Hero 10 and the Action 2 is what I compared, and neither one of them broke, and the Action 2 stayed on there, which that's impressive. I was a little worried about it. So anyway, Connor, got word from Nick that the Mavic 3 will have ProRes. So the Mavic 3, the rumors are it will have ProRes, but only in the Cine model, which is going to be like, the rumors are it's going to be like $4,500 or something, which is, it's a lot. Anyway, so yeah, we'll about another week or a little over a week, 10 days, and we'll find out. I can't wait. I'm so excited about the Mavic 3. I think it's going to be a fantastic drone. Okay, cool. Let's see. Got the Action Crew, worth it for beginners. Stephen Hansen. I mean, it's a good camera. It's a good action camera. It's not bad. Geeks Vana, welcome. Good to have you on the stream, man. I know it's super late for you. Ronin 4D or Action 2. If you've got the money, get the Ronin 4D, because holy crap, that camera is amazing. When I first saw it and when Jevin first brought it up here, I was like, what the heck? This thing looks so weird. It's really odd. And then we started messing with it, and the whole Z-axis thing, oh my gosh. It's amazing how well that thing does. Like, it just takes everything out. It's incredible. Mark H. Is November 5th the release date for the Mavic Pro? That's what I've heard. And so, yeah, whether it ships November 5th or not, or like starts shipping November 5th, that only, I don't know if anybody knows that. So, yeah, but that's what I've heard. November 5th is supposed to be the day that they're announcing it. Can't wait for my review on the Mavic 3. Looking at the second cam on the Mavic 3 with the telephoto up to 160mm with parallax would be really cool with compression. Yeah, depending on the quality of that camera or the I guess not the camera should be good. I don't know how they're doing. I'm just curious to see how they're doing the zoom. Like, is it a digital zoom or is it an optical zoom with a digital zoom, or is it, you know, just an optical zoom? I don't know. I'm just really curious to see that. Yeah. Anyway. Did great, yeah. So we're Action 2. Steven, back to you. If the Action 2 is worth it for beginners, if you're just going to buy a camera and you want one that works well right out of the box, I think it is. It's a great one. If you don't need an action camera, there are other directions you can go for $400, $500. Well, I mean, not really. But anyway, yeah, it's just, you know, an action camera has limits. If you already have a good phone, a new phone, then I would just use that, if that makes sense. But if you need an action camera, I think the Action 2 is the one I would get right now. It wins out over GoPro in a few different ways. So we'll see. Yeah, but my video will be coming hopefully tonight. I still have like 4 minutes of video to finish editing. It sounds like only 4 minutes. That should, like, I could do it on the stream. For 4 hours, I have been editing the other 6 minutes, I think, or 7 minutes, something. Anyway, but it's coming soon. Hey, Kathy. Hope you're doing well. So it is coming soon. It is coming soon. Mavic 3. Yeah, James Smith. So my review on the Mavic 3, I will be getting one as soon as possible to work with it, because I'm very excited about it. Big Water UAV. Holy crap, you guys are asking questions, which is awesome. Okay, question: free wall filters for the biggest promoter of free wall that you know. Yes, David Casada. Ask away. Ask away. Couldn't agree more. Let's see. Hey, One Vision Ariel. You've heard the DJI Mavic Pro has the lens with a built-in special near super proof glass. I don't know what you're asking there, Matthew Smith. Ask. I'm not sure. Near super proof glass. I don't know what you mean by the glass. Tell me what you mean by the glass. Mark H. I wish, Mark. Maybe someday, but definitely not now. Let's see. How about the Sigma 18 to 50 2.8? I would love to try that. Andre, Sigma doesn't send me, as far as I know, Sigma doesn't know I exist. It'd be fun to try. I would like to try that one. Rumor is Tamron is sending me a 35 to 150 to try out, and yeah, the 18 to 300 really did impress me. It's still here. What's the deal with the FCC possibly coming against DJI? Mark, so my understanding of that, at least so far, is that the FCC wants to, it just is more of, any government agencies or any sensitive stuff not being able to use foreign-built drones, which I have a lot of feelings of it, one way or the other. I feel like there's a lot of lobbying behind the scenes for that stuff by drone manufacturers who aren't based in China. So, hey, Ray Kelly. The Action 2 more wide than the GoPro with real steady? Yes, so the Action 2 does have a wider field of view than the GoPro, even with real steady, even in the GoPro wide. I mean, super view is pretty close, but that really warp stuff, the Action 2 is just, in general, has a wider field of view. It just does. Well, that's gonna be fixed. No kidding, dude. That Ronin 4D that's a chunk of money, but that is a pro level camera. I think it'll take a while before a lot of bigger places like understand that. Like right now, you have names like Red or Arri or even the high end Sony's. Those have a name and a reputation, where DJI doesn't have that high end reputation yet. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves and if it like, you know, as it gets more widely adopted, I guess is the way to say. Did I love the Action 2, Ray Kelly? I did like it. It's a good little action camera. So my video will be going live ASAP, which unfortunately means probably tomorrow morning for most of you, because I got a couple hours of editing left. Connor, does the Action 2 work more reliably than the Hero 10? We all know GoPro frustrations. So my experience, it did, other than some of the like quirks of beta firmware, which is always like people. Can I rant for a second? Everybody thinks it's great to be like the initial reviewers, and it is, because you get the initial search traffic and all that. The part that nobody really talks about is all of the frustrations of and the bugs of beta software or beta software. Like, and in a lot of cases, like the manual hasn't been written yet. And so you're guessing as much as you can to figure out how stuff works and then what's a bug and what's just not a bug or what's been overlooked. I mean, just you are, it's awesome, but it's also incredibly frustrating sometimes. And I've had the same experience, not like when Jevin was up here, but also when I've been sent, you know, pre-release models from Zhuan for gimbals and stuff like that. It's cool, but it's also sometimes intensely frustrating, because you come up against something that you know is not fixed yet or not ready yet, and you're supposed to talk about, you know, you're supposed to like explore all the features, and it's like, but I can't explore this feature if it's not working yet. So it's interesting that way. Yeah. Peter McLennan, what don't I like about the Action 2? So the biggest thing I don't like is that the camera module itself has no SD card in it. Now, what I understand is DJI is going to be releasing firmware that as soon as you connect the battery pack or the screen mod, it will automatically transfer any footage on the camera to the SD card in one of those modules. But when we were working with it up here, that wasn't, you know, part of it. So that was a big frustration, or the biggest frustration, because transferring footage off of the camera onto a hard drive was kind of slow, because you had to go through the battery mod or the screen mod, and it just, you know, it wasn't super fast. I mean, it wasn't ridiculously slow, but it just wasn't super fast as it would be if you had a micro SD card you pull out, pop it in your computer, and really get the footage off fast. Let's see. Are you gonna go for Sony A7 IV comparison to A7S III? Probably. I'm looking at it, Ollie. I'm very seriously. I've got my name on a list already, so likely yes. And I want a good B camera for my A7S III, and a good, you know, 33 megapixel photos is good. That'll be a nice size. Get new camera, product photos, beach, water, sailing, boating, action shots, Sony versus Canon. What do you recommend? I don't like the results you're getting with the phone. Oh, April. So if you're going to be doing like beach, water, sailing, boating, action shots, like you're going to need a pretty good weather sealed camera. So that puts you in like the A6400, A6600 range, and you can get an A6400 with a decent lens for kit lens for about $1,000–1,200, I think. The other option is the Canon, what is it, the M50, I think, is weather sealed. Ooh, I should double check on that. But you definitely want weather sealed, and APS-C would be fine. That's where I think the Canon M50 would probably be all right. Let's see. Yeah, it is weather sealed. So, Oh, no, the Canon M50 is not. So don't do the Canon M50. Never mind. See, this is why I need to look this stuff up. Yeah, so the A6400 is kind of the direction I would say you should go. Something in that, like that. You'd be really happy with the results you get out of that, I think, even with a kit lens. Big Water, interesting to see how stabilization is for FPV in the new Action camera. It's very good. I'll say that. And I do have some sample video of that in my video. It's very, very good. Hey, I'm caught up. All right, 4 minutes, 4 hours of editing. So true, but VFX could be more than like 1 minute a day. Yeah, Alaska VFX. Yeah, no kidding. Oh yeah. What do I think about the A7IV? I'm excited for the A7IV. The only downside, and I shouldn't be surprised. Well, there are two things so far that I'm a little bit not happy about. The rolling shutter. It is what it is, and the shutter sound. The A7S III and the A1 have such a fantastic shutter sound. It sounds solid. It's not too loud. It doesn't sound cheap or metally. It sounds nice. I don't know how else to say it, but I love it. So that, not a big deal. But the rolling shutter, I am a little bit bummed about the rolling shutter. But again, most stuff like that, I'll be using my A7S III. So, but yeah. David Cusada, let's see, yeah. But I'm excited about 33. I mean, I'm glad to see that it performs so well. I'm glad they added 10-bit and 422, 4K 60. I don't shoot that much slow motion, so that, I mean, the crop on 4K 60, it's a little bit of a bummer, but slow motion is almost always just B-roll, so who cares, sort of. Yeah, so I'm glad they're moving that direction with everything, because 10-bit 422 is so much nicer to work with in post. It just is, even though it's a fair amount more data. David Casada, you want to get free will filters for GoPro Hero 9. You have the two versions. One is the plain old NDs, and then the polarized ND32 CPL through CPL 34. That's the same price you've used NDs with CPL regular cameras, but I'm not sure it'll work for station camera. I don't have access to. Any thoughts? So honestly, David, I just go for the regular NDs. Even for drones, I try to stay away from the circular polarized filters because you can't easily adjust them. That's what I do, and that's what I recommend. Just a regular ND will make a big difference, and it will really help you get your footage where it needs to be. So, Mark H, am I editing with DaVinci Resolve much these days, or Final Cut Pro X? Still Final Cut Pro X. I am testing one of the new 16-inch M1 Max laptops from Apple. There'll be a video about it coming soon. You know, kind of video editing. In fact, that's what I'm streaming right now with, is the M1X, which I have to say right now, my 16-inch laptop, this one from 2019, which is pretty specced out, would be screaming. The fans will be going full bore by now, streaming. I've yet to hear the fans kick on this machine, period. Like in all the testing I've done, in all the editing I've done today on it, rendering, processing, importing footage, moving footage around, everything I've been doing, the fans have not kicked on once. And everything I've been working with, a lot of what I've been working with has been 4K, 10-bit, 422, XAVC-S footage, and then, from the Air 2S, that D-Log, 10-bit D-Log footage, and yeah, this thing's just cranking through it like it's nothing. I literally I was importing all the footage for a video that's going, today's video, yeah, the GoPro versus Action 2 video. I imported all that footage, and I watched it. It was importing, and as fast as it was importing, it was transcoding the footage into ProRes. So if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it, but it just means the computer is insanely powerful. And I think, honestly, you would get the same performance even if you got the base model 14-inch, the $2,000 model. So don't think you have to spend like $3,500, $3,600 or whatever. I think you get the 14-inch base model, you would get essentially the same performance until you start working in really high RAW codecs, 6K RAW from Red, or some of the Canon logs are pretty hard, 8K stuff, maybe then you would push it a little bit, but even then, I don't think so. It's amazing. I think the big thing is if you can get 32 gigs of RAM, do it. Anything else, yeah, you'll be fine. Let's see, off top, best photo camera for the lowest price, Moshi. Honestly, right now, I think the best photo camera for the lowest price is the Sony ZV-E10. It takes great photos. They're really nice. It's, what is that, $700, I think? $750 with a kit lens. And yeah, that's what I would do. So, and that's not off topic at all. That is the whole entire point of this stream, is to just ask questions and get answers, hopefully. So, let's see, best photo camera, Action 2 wireless mic. Peter, I'm excited about that. We didn't get to test it. Jevin didn't have one with him. I didn't even know about it. I don't know if he knew about it until they announced it today. But I'm excited about it because the Pocket 2, the little gimbal that I've got, came with their little wireless mic for that. And that thing works incredibly well. Like in big wind, with the little wind muff, it works really well. So I'm excited about that. I think it's good. In general, I'm excited about this stuff that's coming on the market that's giving all of us the ability to work with tools that aren't thousands of dollars, but still come out with incredibly good results. Yes, you need to know what you're doing a little bit, but I mean, the fact that now you can have a 2-channel wireless system for about $300, and it fits in the palm of your hand. I mean, that's incredible. It's really incredible. And our cameras are getting good. One thing I think you'll enjoy watching the video. I mean, I think you'll enjoy watching the video anyway, because there's tons of footage and tons of comparisons. But the low light performance of the Action 2 versus the GoPro 10 really shocked me. So definitely, it was surprising. And the fact that, I mean, it's cool. What we have, the tools we have available to us as creators today is just absolutely incredible. It would have cost, so much more to do what we can do with just this device here now. It just is phenomenal. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Mark H, which Mac laptop is the one I'm talking about? So I am comparing right now the 16-inch, the high-end 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 Max chip, 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive from Apple. So it's like the $3,500 version, which is, yes, it's a lot. But again, like this, my whole entire life revolves around how fast that computer can process footage, not just for YouTube, but for clients. And when I come back from a 3-day conference and I have 2 or 3 camera angles of days and days and days of footage to process, here's an example. Last night I went through 40 gigs of footage. The M1 Max laptop took 9 minutes to import it all and to transcode it all to ProRes. My 2019 spec'd out MacBook Pro, 16-inch, took 29 minutes. That adds up, for me, that adds up to approximately 6 to 8 hours of time savings every week. It's huge. And so in my case, that's a massive, reason to upgrade. If I can get 6 to 8 hours of my time back, that's a huge deal. That's huge. So yeah, so I'm probably going to keep it. I think I'm going to keep it, sell this one, the old one, or turn it in, trade it in or something. It's not a bad laptop. It's just the speed difference is mind-boggling. I mean, 9 minutes compared to almost a half an hour. That is, yeah. Is that 300%? I was trying to figure out the math for percentages wise. It's ridiculously fast though. It's just insanely fast. So, all right, back to questions. Now that I'm done talking about that, you know, nudge in the right direction. Surprising version. Yeah, I don't know why they have such a. I don't know why people do polarizers. For photos, it's great, but if you're not doing photo work for video work, it's just really hard to get it right. So I always go toward regular. Oz by Drone. Hey, thank you for having me on your show the other day. It was a lot of fun. I hope it was fun. I did get your email. I'm sorry I haven't responded. I've just been buried. Exalt. Hey, bro. Hope you're doing well. What software, camera, and cables do I use when I stream in YouTube right now? So I use OBS to stream, which is doing pretty well today. My internet is doing pretty well today. That's always nice. I use the A7S III with a 24mm G Master 1.4. It's at 1.8 right now, and then an HDMI cable into a Blackmagic ATEM Mini, which is the little switcher. And I don't have anything to switch right now. And then that goes into the computer via USB-C. USB-C. Yeah. Like Action 2 low light performance report inspiring. Yeah, Peter, wait till you see the video. It really shocked me how much better it was. It's still an action camera, so it's still not amazing, but it was better than the GoPro 10 by, I think, a substantial amount. I'll be curious to see what you think. So yeah. Mark H. Agreed, yeah. And the Apple silicone chips are just, they have engineered them and built them in such a way that they are like almost created from the ground up to do stuff like this, especially the Pro and the Max versions, because they have those dedicated CPU cores just for that. And yeah, it's just insane. Renew Real Steady Go 2. Yeah, that would be cool. I would like to see Go 2. That would be fun. Mac Mini with this hardware is going to be my first ever Mac computer. Peter, that's awesome. So I've heard the Mac Mini M1 with 16 gigs is pretty good, but from what I understand, Apple is talking about releasing like more of a, not a Pro level version, but a Pro-er version. So if you can wait a little bit longer, I would. Otherwise, I know a few different people that operate on the Mac Mini M1 with 16 gigs of RAM. You have to do 16 gigs of RAM because it doesn't, you can't do it on 8, but 16 gigs of RAM. And everybody that I've talked to says the thing just smokes. It just screams past almost all the Intel Macs. So, and from what I understand now, what I'm seeing is the 16-inch MacBook Pro or the 14-inch higher-end models, the M1 Max chip basically smokes every other Mac out there except for the Mac Pro that's been like decked out with all the afterburner cards, and it's got 32 cores of Intel Xeon processors or whatever, like, so yeah. M1X performance, you don't get the time back, says Martha Stewart. Exactly. I literally would build my day around like coming down here at either I would get home from a trip and I would start my computer processing immediately because it would process then into the night. And then by the next day it would be ready to edit. In some cases, like I would, when I've done like multi-day conferences and stuff, I would start my computer processing and it would take, and then go do something for the entire day and come back and it would be finishing up late that night. I mean, it just mind-boggling how much more powerful and fast this computer is at handling that stuff. Really impressive. Would the Go 2 be any good for FPV, Moshi? I've used the Go 2, the Insta360 Go 2 for FPV, and it does do a pretty decent job. You use it on Pro mode for sure. That don't use it on anything else. Pro mode for sure. And then, yeah, it's nice, especially on smaller drones where you don't want to add a lot of weight. The Go 2 is pretty sweet. I really like mine. I've stuck it on the back of, Connor knows, if he's still in the chat. He and I have worked together in doing some big FPV shoots. One of them was Caterpillar. And I stuck the Insta360 Go 2 on the back of his big FPV drone when we were doing some flights with it. And it was cool. And that's a great use for that camera. Let's see. With the Action 2 Excel, one-shot scenes? One-shot scenes. Yeah, kind of would, Kelly, because the stabilization in it is really good. The only time the GoPro 10 beats the stabilization of the Action 2 is when you have boost mode on, which uses battery really fast. But it doesn't beat it all the time because boost mode is so aggressive about how it handles stabilization. Sometimes it ruins the shot. Like the Action 2 has a very real steady like feel to it. When you move it around, it feels kind of like real steady. Whereas the Hero 10, when you move it around like this, sometimes it's like it just kind of it runs out of real estate on the sensor and just jerks it back over. And anyway, you will see soon, I hope. if I can get edited. It's like the beginning of the video gets edited really well, and then as time goes on, the editing sometimes starts to drop down of like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. We'll just leave that and go fast. But I'm trying to do a really good job to give you as much information as possible, so that if you're going to buy an Action camera, you can go into it knowing that yes, the Action 2 is the camera for me, or the GoPro 10. I'm not a huge fan of GoPro though, just FYI. Yeah. Hey Nick. Nick's high tech. Technology run fast, no good, a lot of money. Oh, that's true, LC. Sky Studios West, hello. DJI Pro 3 seems to have much higher price than expected. Flymore combo will be almost 3K. Sky Studio West, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Like the rumors are like 2,000-ish for the basic, and then something 25 to 3K for the Flymore, and then like 4,500 for the Cine version, the Pro Cine version. We'll have to see. Nobody really knows until it comes out. That would be extremely expensive, in my opinion. On the other hand, it does kind of make sense. Like, if it gets a 40-something minute flight time per battery, and you're getting 3 of those batteries with it, yeah. So here's my hope. My hope is that you can buy the drone and or the Flymore combo, but also be able to combine the new smart controller with it if you want to. Not have to buy just the Cine version to get the smart controller. I would like to get the regular version with the smart controller. Yeah. Fear it. When using a lanyard for FPV, how much can you record 4K 60? Does it overheat? A lanyard? I'm not sure what you mean there. Action 2. Oh, it doesn't overheat. Especially when it's flying. There's no overheating going on at all. Kelly, getting burned out on any. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like as the day goes on, it's like, Ronin 4D, does it produce Netflix acceptable video, Peter? That depends. So if Netflix is funding your project, you have to use one of their approved cameras, and time will tell if they approve that one or not. I don't see why they wouldn't. It looks really great, but who knows? I mean, who knows? So, but if you're shooting it and putting it on Netflix, which is something you can do, you don't have to use one of their approved cameras. Yeah. Adrian, no mic jack option seems kind of lame. Yeah, who knows though? We'll see what happens in the future. But also they do have the little wireless system that they'll also sell you with it, which yeah, kind of makes, it is what it is. Audio Geek FPV, upload it in 60 FPS. You have to record it in 60 FPS and then export it and upload it to YouTube in 60 FPS. I think you could do it all straight from the DJI app if I remember right, but I'm not positive. Indoor lighting, is it better to stick with traditional compact fluorescent lamps, or is there newer LED that would be better? Also shoot photos for products you make. April, if you can use, if you have good quality, high quality fluorescents, you could use those. That's fine. If you're looking at buying lighting now, I would absolutely go LED, without question. Yeah. So, and for product lighting, like I did the Godox TL60s, those are great for product lighting because you get a lot of options. The new ones from Aperture I just reviewed, those would be good for product stuff too. Yeah, so you just got to play around with it. Sky Studio, only 360 cameras, definition of the entire sphere all the time. You can decide what's showing your picture. That's true, Sky. 360 cameras, they're mind-blowing as far as the stabilization they can achieve. Let's see. I feel like I missed a bunch of questions here. If I missed a question, please ask it again. The chat's going a little fast, so I'm trying to keep up. Question, you're the man. Thanks, any journalist. Appreciate that. So using the Action 2 for cycling video is going to use a battery booster. It seems I'm always going to need to mount with an attachment. Yeah, you can get a solid like 30 minutes of footage without the battery booster, but using the battery booster also it will give you like up to 180 minutes, which is a lot. So yeah. The nice thing is even with the battery booster, it's still smaller and lighter than the GoPro 10. Nick, I do not. Jevin didn't either when he was up here. He might have it now, but I don't. So, Action 2. When using the chest magnet, how much can you record in 4K 60? Does it overheat soon? If you're moving, Virat, it doesn't overheat very fast. Like, you can record a good, like, 15 to maybe up to 30 minutes, depending on the ambient air temperature. But if you're moving around, that, 30 minutes is as much as you can record on there anyway, because of the storage limitations. So, and if you're turning it on and off, you'll get a fair amount of time. Oh, I got you, Audio Geek. I'll have to think about that. Mavic 3 is the new Inspire. No thanks, you pass. Good for great corporate video. Yeah, I'll see. It's true. Like, the Mavic 3 is going to be more of a high-level production drone. Not a high-level production drone, but more of a high-level prosumer drone that can be used in productions, I guess is the way to say it. I don't know. I'm curious to see if they're going to come out with an Inspire 3 anytime soon. I would love to see that. Audio Geek. So almost all of the footage that I recorded for the Action and GoPro was recorded in 30 FPS, so I can't post it in 60 FPS. Otherwise, everything would be sped up, and that would be weird. Yeah, right, Alaska VFX. Permafrost beards? Is that Nick? Let's see, GoPro 9, still haven't unboxed it. Any journalist? Yeah, the 9 to 10 is not a huge upgrade. The biggest upgrade to me for the 10 was the touchscreen's better, and that's really about it. I mean, really, honestly, I really don't need more action cameras. Yeah. 4D chicken cam. It's true, Peter. It does look like a chicken cam, but holy crap, does that thing work well? My gosh. For any of you that don't know, Permafrost Beards, pretty cool guy, lives in Alaska, flies stuff, lots of stuff actually, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, pretty neat guy. He and I hung out a few times. Action 2 favorite video format? For me, Peter, I mean, the 4K 30 looks great. That's great. 4K. I really messed with the 4K 60. The 4K 120 was definitely really nice too. And you still get audio with it, so you can record it 4K 120 and then slow it down wherever you want and speed ramp, which is sweet. Better webcam. Can you use your DJI Pocket 2 as one? I think you can but you have to use the DJI app to stream from the DJI app from your phone. I haven't messed with that streaming much though. But you can't like plug it into your computer and have it be your webcam. David Casada, you're the man. See me more excited than I've seen you. Excited about Mavic 3 or something else. In general, I'm pretty excited. I also had a full night's sleep last night, which probably helps. Yeah, so it just... I have a lot of videos to edit, which I don't know if I'm excited about that, but there'll be a lot of videos coming on this channel, so stay tuned. And thank you for watching them. I appreciate it. Yeah. Question, what accessories do I use to hold my GoPro while vlogging hiking? Honestly, most of the time, I'm just hand holding it. I do have a chest mount rig, chesty or whatever they call it, and then occasionally I do use an Insta361 selfie pole and stick it on the end of a selfie pole, but 90% of the time I'm just holding it and stick it in my pocket when I'm not filming something. So you have a good one, Kelly. Yeah, not through StreamYard permafrost, unfortunately. What do you want to buy, any journalist? I don't know if I have a... But honestly, like if you click any of the links in any of the videos and like go to Amazon, whatever you buy will be included in that. So you don't have to buy the thing from the link. You can just click the link, go through, and then anything you purchase will give me or whoever you links you use, we'll give them an affiliate commission off of that as well. So if that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. So like I could drop in, I don't have a link right now, but yeah, I mean, you could click any of the links in the description of this video and that'll work. LC Productions, how many degrees are there at my place? 20 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It's very wintry feeling. And all the leaves are gone off the trees. Everything's dead and brown, and there's no snow on the ground yet, so it looks really boring and dead and brown. I have to go a long way to get anything that looks nice, which a video you'll see is coming. I went a ways. Anyway, nice video. They can't tell I'm 7 feet tall on the video. Come on, man. I'm not 7 feet tall. Thank you, Any Dronalist. I appreciate that, man. I really do. The help, the support that you all give the channel is incredible and awesome and a little bit humbling. So thank you very much. You're welcome, April. I hope I answered your question. I don't remember what it was now, but I must have answered something. So yeah, what else? Action 2. The A7IV is exciting, coming. Alaska VFX, not sure if you want it to snow or not. I do want it to snow at this point. Well, not yet. Not yet. Soon, though. I would like it to snow soon because, yeah, it'd be nice. Drone works. Been buffering, Mark H. Oh, that's weird. I haven't seen any errors on my end. Everything's been really good for a while, so. Good night. Where you're from, Mini SC, your thoughts as well as do you think it would work for small jobs? Yeah, absolutely, drone works. I used the Mini 2 on some jobs, a few different jobs actually, and nobody even noticed. In fact, one of them was flying through inside of a warehouse around, and it wasn't very good lighting, but it still looked great when I got done with it. So yeah, the Mini SE would work fine for jobs, unless you need to, of course, deliver in 4K, but nobody does that. Almost everything is 1080. Yeah, so. Any drone? She just got the Air 2S. Awesome. The Air 2S it's a great drone. Even when the Mavic 3 comes out, I think the Air 2S is still going to be one of my main backpacking drone because it's just small enough and it gets great image quality and stuff like that. The Mavic 3, I mean, I think it's about the same size as the Mavic 2, but probably a little bigger. I'm guessing it's a little heavier. So, yeah, I don't know. The Air 2S is just, that thing is a great little drone. Love it. You still think the minis are way underrated for most folks? I agree, Nick. Permafrost, I agree. If anybody ever asks me what should I buy for a drone, I'm always like, get a mini or get a Mini 2. They're freaking great little drones. They fly really well. They take great photos, great video, and they fly for a long time, which is amazing. They're really awesome. Really good at night, Adrian? Yes, it is. The Air 2S is fantastic at night in low light. So curious to see how the Mavic 3 does with that. If it does have a Micro Four Thirds sensor, I'll be very curious to see how it does at night. Permafrost? Yeah, they really are. It's so hard. Gee, you're watching from... Oh, cool. Planning on buying Air 2S third week of November. Can't afford the Mavic 3. So expensive. Yeah, that's true. And honestly, the Air 2S, like if you need a Mavic 3 because you're doing higher level production work and you need that bigger sensor and whatever else, then sure. But if you don't, you don't. Don't spend money you don't have to. If you can do the Air 2S, do the Air 2S. It's a great drone. Same thing with the Mavic Mini and the Mini 2. Oh, nice. I just repaired a Mavic 2 Zoom for somebody. They crashed it and I fixed it and it's back in the air. Oh, cool. Awesome, Permafrost. Mark H, can I explain flying at night for Part 107? So if you're Part 107, and especially if you have to take some extra training now, which you can do online, but if you're Part 107 and you just recently had to redo your like every 2-year thing, then you are allowed to fly at night, provided you meet the conditions of you need to have a strobe on the drone that's visible for 3 nautical miles, at least 3 nautical miles. And then, of course, you have to be able to operate safely and be able to keep visual line of sight with the drone and stuff like that, which means your range is going to be reduced because you can't fly further out. And if you haven't flown at night before, I recommend you go out somewhere where there's little to no danger of you crashing into anything and practice. Because flying at night is wholly different than flying during the day. You can't see through the screen, which a lot of people get used to. And so if you can't see through the screen, you can't really orient yourself where you are. So you need to get used to orienting yourself using the lights on the drone. And then you also so it takes some practice, so go out and practice. But yeah, for Part 107, if you just got your Part 107, well, I don't know if you just got it, but if you've just been, like in the last 6 months, you've re-upped and you've done your 2-year, re-exam, then there's sections in there that give you, now that you've done and you've passed ideally, there are sections in there that now give you the ability to fly at night without having to get a daytime waiver. Now, if you haven't done your recurrent, that's the word I was looking for, recurrent. If you haven't done your recurrent, you still would need a daylight waiver technically. But you can also go on whatever the website is, I can't remember off the top of my head, and take the extra training to be able to fly at night. And I think the same thing is rolling out for Over People. They already had some stuff about Over People in there, but it's very limited as to what you can do. So, yeah, that. Any journalist, what software do I use for editing? I use Final Cut Pro X because I'm a Mac person. So, if you want a free version, I recommend DaVinci Resolve because DaVinci Resolve, you can get a free version and it's very powerful. Hood Diaries, biggest tips to up-and-coming entrepreneurs, I assume is what you meant. Biggest tips. 1, don't have another job, have your income coming from something else while you build your other business. So the pressure on your business isn't everything, or if you're living at home, then that's great. But, and then 2, just really concentrate on putting together the best possible work you can. That will get you more jobs than anything, and building a portfolio. And then 3 is relationships, man. Relationships. Build good relationships with other business people in your area, especially business people that could use your particular skills or what you're offering. And number 4 is, as fast as you can, learn how to say no, because that will save you so much problems. So, yeah. SkyWest, have your landing area illuminated. Be able to find yourself an area where you're coming back. Yeah, that's a big one, SkyWest. That really helps. I thought I saw 24 months. Did I see something else from you, Nick? Did I miss it? Yeah, Nick will correct me in a heartbeat if I'm off on the Part 107 stuff at all. He and I have a lot of discussions about it. Anyway, so Mark H, you have your recurrent in a few months. Yeah, so you'll go take your recurrent, and by the time you're done with your recurrent, you will have also taken the training that they now require for you to be able to fly at night. Still on you to fly safely at night, but yeah. Reptilian, nice, very good. Any journalist? So I do color grade my videos a bit. A lot of them are just straight out of camera colors. But recently I've been switching up to where I'm using S-Log3 on the A7S III because it gives me a more dynamic range. And when I'm out shooting in shadow and behind me are mountains that are lit in bright sunlight, S-Log3 is the only thing that can handle it and not make everything behind me just look blown out white. So, yeah. Hey, Paul. Am I getting the Action 2? Probably not. Not because it's not a great camera. It is a great camera. I really enjoyed it while I had the opportunity to play with it. But I have 5 GoPros, an Osmo Action, an Osmo Pocket, or the Pocket 2. I really don't need another one. I really don't. So I probably not. Plus, I'm saving money for the Mavic 3 whenever that comes out. Awesome. Jafaz. I have no idea how to say your name. So sorry. Yeah, Permafrost, you're right. So, if you get your Part 107, then you are required to take a recurrent test every 24 months. And it's kind of similar to pilots have to take a check ride. I think it's every 24 months, permafrost. Is that right? So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But you take a recurrent training every 24 months, and that way you can be up to date. Like as regulations are changing, things are changing. You're up to it. Do you use any LUTs? Any journalists? I use the Leeming LUTs, and then I use the stock DJI LUT for the DJI drones, and that's about it. Japaz, I'm using the A7S III with a Sony 24mm G Master. Thanks, Nick. Paul, yeah, I wish. Maybe I'll get on their list next year when I have 100,000 subscribers, and Permafrost Beards can make fun of me even more as being a famous YouTuber. Good night, Alaska VFX. Have a good one. The rumor is, David Casada, you're asking when the Mavic 3 is supposed to come out. The rumor is November 5th is their announcement, but I haven't heard any hard dates or, positive that that's it, but I'm pretty sure it's November 5th. So if that's what you're waiting for, it's coming. It's coming soon. Dun, dun, dun. I can't wait. Yeah, Jerry Paz, it is probably. I'm probably butchering your name, so sorry. Influencer spelled correct now. Thanks, Permafrost. Mark H. I know, I can't wait, but I think it's not shipping till December sometime. So it's like, it's like the global supply chain issues. Like, come on. I want my stuff now. Anyway, it is what it is. Life goes on. I have the A7S III. I'm really I really can't complain. I have a great camera. It's just fantastic. So, they're teasing us. Yeah, exactly, Reptilian. Exactly. Z9. I've been looking at that, Richard. Looks like a phenomenal camera. I wish Nikon would stop dropping tiny little teasers and just put something actually out there. It gives us a lot more info, but yeah. Can I use the Sony ZV-E10 like this for live stream? Much better stream on using Sony ZV-1. The ZV-E10 will work for live stream camera as well, just like the Sony ZV-1, but you'll get slightly better image quality because it has a larger sensor. But not it won't be like night and day, but it will be better. DroneWorks. Phantom 4 Pro crashed a couple weeks ago. Thinking about pulling the trigger on the Air 2 or Mini 2 for small jobs and indoor use. I do the Mini 2. Do the Mini 2. Yeah, absolutely. I've flown that drone indoors a lot. Mini 2 is great for indoor stuff and small jobs. It's really great for that. Nice. Yours is really cheap now. Cheap and good usually don't go together. I'm sorry to say. Hey, Steve Carpenter. Oh, thank you. I'm glad, man. It's good to see you in the chat. Yeah. That's true. That's true, Paul. Every camera is pretty good. Cheap and good. Okay, so then define cheap. Yeah. Define cheap, because there's a lot of difference there. Or just update your phone, man, and use that for everything. 200 or less. Oh, well, you could. Oh, Logitech makes a pretty good one for I think $150 to $180. That's pretty nice. I would look there. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a good one. It's like a little over 100. Be good. I wouldn't go less than 100 because that's when you start to get into really cheap ones. But yeah. Let's see. Not quite yet. Joel, surprised to find out his old friend was a famous YouTuber. That's gonna be a Joel, I had fun working with those guys. A famous YouTuber. You guys, I hardly feel like that at all. I know, 51,000, getting there, but yeah, it's weird. So anyway. All right, Paul, I don't know if I'm going to be able to join you. I've tried to listen in the last few times because it's kind of a weird time of day for me, but have a good stream, man. Shutter speed, missed today again. No, don't worry about it, Shutter speed Ireland. Good to see you in the chat. Oh, yeah, drone works. I get the Air 2S for outside stuff because the image quality in the Air 2S is substantially better than the Air 2, in my opinion, especially in lower light stuff. And the Mini 2 for smaller jobs, absolutely. Yeah. All right, folks, that is going to wrap the stream up for this week. What's happening next week? What is happening next week? I keep saying, oh, same time, same place next week, and then stuff happens and I can't be there. So, nope, I'll be here. So, be back streaming again, same time, same place next week. There are some really good videos coming out between now and then, if I can ever get them edited. One will be the GoPro Hero 10 comparing the GoPro 10 and the Action 2, which will be coming either tonight or tomorrow morning for some of you, depending on where you live. But it's coming, I promise. I'm almost there editing it. I just need to spend a few more hours to get the last couple minutes done, and then I'll get it uploaded, and the YouTube processing gods will hopefully shine on me, and it will all be good, and we'll go and you'll get to see it. In the meantime, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this channel. I really appreciate it a lot. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next video. Till then, stay safe, be smart. Cheers, everybody.